All right, guys. Now, hang on to those 3D glasses. You don't have to wear them right now, but do hang on to them. Because I have a feeling we're going to be needing them a little bit later on in the film.
Remember last time how we did this?
360 3D.
Exactly.
Did we do
Brought to
this last
Universal
time?
Studios Hollywood.
Do what?
By Wet Digital
this,
Peter
what we're
Jackson, the Academy Award.
I've never read this in my life.
Well, I could have sworn I remember doing that.
We never read it, right?
Oh,
Jumping the world's
we
largest
just done it
movie
somewhere else,
screen,
I swear.
40 feet tall and 180 feet long.
With a Project Studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. This tram driving along through Skull Island, that's where the camera's caught. The screen represents where the screen is 10 meters away. We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Now, during King Kong 360 3D, a portion of this tram was pulled into the movie. When it was, it became a picture car. A picture car is any vehicle on a set that is seen by the camera, and sometimes they become just as famous as the stars who drive them. Or the stars who get driven over by them, for that matter. And over the years, picture cars have become bigger, badder, and faster as audiences feel the need for speed.
No, because we got here yesterday, right? No, we got here 2 days ago.
Look, got some time traveling options
It
for
was
you out there.
Monday.
And hey, these Flintstones cars, they're just tricked out golf carts. I'd like to play the Masters at Augusta on one of those.
Wednesday then.
Can't talk about picture cars without talking about the Fast and the Furious films. That Nissan Skyline is the one Paul Walker drove. The opening race of Too Fast, Too Furious. When we have some Jurassic-style cars, the gyrosphere sans plexiglass. And check out that tank from Michael Bay's Transformers. It's about 75% comprised of plywood. When it comes to building sets and things for movies, guys, if it's wood, it's good because it's just so easy to work
Tank.
with. You know, it goes up fast, it comes down fast. You can make it look like anything. Metal, marble, brick, you name it, with the right production design. And while we're on the subject of production design, our next stop is the Jungle Islands off the coast of Costa Rica.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
All these sets and vehicles coming up were used in Steven Spielberg's original Jurassic Park films. This is the mobile lab that dangled precariously from that parking structure we drove past earlier. It was made up to look like a massive cliff face for this scene. This mobile lab's coming up on the left.
This is what was used in Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, wow, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming. It's Groucho, Hoppo, and Chico. Three of the funniest dinosaurs you ever know. That's how they say hello. Chock full of vitamin B, by the way. Very good for your skin. So we have that going for us, which is nice.
Great info.
Now, folks, weather played an important role in that clip we watched from The Lost World, and in any movie it does.
That got me
Just
all
right
wet.
mood
That
and
literally got me
atmosphere
all wet.
in a given scene. The weather effects have always been very tricky, because most of the time we have sunshine. So filmmakers have to create weather. Have a look at some of the ways they do it. We're rolling into Old Mexico. Shot down here in the Showtime series Shameless. Starring movies Macy and Eddie Rossi. As well as coffee classics like Amigos, Nacho Libre.
What are the chances of it actually hitting me?
Getting what?
I said, what are the chances of it actually hitting me? What is this?
This is how they make weather.
Let's start with some rain.
Oh.
So as you can see, rain is created by an overhead sprinkler. We just shoot the water straight up in the air and let it fall naturally. Let it go. Now the problem is when we get too much rain, it can lead to disaster in the form of flash floods. You've got one of those right first. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting in one of the blue seats, it's
getting me all wet.
That flood was caused by dumping thousands of gallons of recycled water from large tanks in the hill. Here's what it looks like from actor Paul Giamatti's point of view in the comedy Big Fat Lie.
Look, we're in a movie.
Who?
This is in a movie. That exact set right here. Look. Exact thing.
Now we're taking you back across the border and back in time to the Wild
Yeah.
West.
Kind of.
Recently shot on
That
these
was
sets,
on
Quentin
that set.
Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Look at you, barely
starring
what
Leonardo
the
DiCaprio
raptor got
and
you,
Brad
but I got
But in the
freaking.
heyday of the Western, these sets were wall-to-wall action. And our cowboys always look larger than life. Part of that had to do with the way these sets are designed. Take a look around, you'll notice some of the doorways seem a little bit smaller than they ought to be. That's so when our actors stood in them, they looked bigger and brawnier than they actually were. We also made some doorways much bigger, so some of our actors would appear more vulnerable. But the reason we call this street 6 Points is because it has 6 points, 6 corners. And back in the days of silent film when sound wasn't really an issue, each corner had its own bank, its own saloon, and its own jail. So we could actually shoot 6 different westerns on this street at the same time. All right, guys, this is kind of the halfway point. I just want to remind everybody to remain seated at all times. You guys have been fantastic so far, but just in case you drop your cell phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, reach up and pull that red cord. Get my attention, I'll come back, we'll sort it out. Please continue to remain seated on the tram. Now this tranquil lagoon over here on the left is the original Black Lagoon from the cult classic The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Here's a fun fact, 2 entirely different costumes were designed for this creature. A darker, heavier version that photographed better on land, and a lighter version that worked better underwater. And professional diver Rico Browning, who played the creature in the underwater sequences, learned to hold his breath for 5 minutes at a time. Logic being that if the creature breathed through its gills, there shouldn't be air bubbles ascending to the surface from some kind of scuba. But 5 minutes? Try holding your breath for 1 minute. No, don't do it now. Your bodies will crumble, and your minds will collapse into madness. While we're on the subject of creature features, just up ahead of us is Little Europe. It's where we invented the monster movie. Right now it's still dressed as the afterlife, or The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Come on, this location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this.
You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe he's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
We call these sets Little Europe because they can look like many of the cities in Europe simply by changing the language, the street signs, and the buildings, adding the appropriate vehicles and props and color schemes. This was Rome for Ron Howard's Angels and Demons, starring Tom Hanks. Port Royale and parts of Tortuga for Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean 1, 2, and 3 with Johnny Depp. This is the Port of Miracles over here on the right, looking very pleasant and quaint, compliments of the good place, but that wasn't always so. The Port of Miracles is where many of the famous monsters got their start. It got its name from the Parisian square in the novel The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was made into a movie in 1923. And that's what kicked off the monster movie craze. Alright guys, just up ahead of us at stage 50, we shot some key scenes from the series Bones, starring David Boreanaz. Bones is kind of CSI meets a romantic comedy. And David Boreanaz came onto the scene playing a monster. He was the vampire with the soul angel in Joss Whedon's Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the 90s. Then had a spin-off from that series, his own series Angel, and then Bones. And Bones ran for 12 seasons, so it was just a little successful. But it did wrap, so we get to go inside and have a look around. Now, you don't need 3D glasses for this. We're just going to go in and check out a really cool film set. But I'm going to bring up a little of the scene that was shot in here so you guys have a point of reference as we go inside. All right. Yeah, we're just having an issue getting those doors open, ladies and gentlemen. I was about to ask for 10 volunteers to help me pry them. But we're here, so let's check out this bit of Bones.
Look, they're sweet. I talked to him, so they got him in his arms.
Guys with the FBI?
Yeah, we're here about the human remains.
That's him. Right over there.
You alright?
Where the Bones are set in Washington. Whoa!